welcome to the news. I am Sergio Brito. Coming up this evening, art industry suffers a setback amidst coronavirus pandemic. Startup incubator trains entrepreneurs on business development. Our special guest on News Review today is a Gambian rapper ST Singate, aka the Gambian Dream. But first, we'll take a look at the newspapers. The Standard newspaper is reporting that the leader of the GMC, Mai Ahmed Fati, says selfish politicians made Barrow to renege on coalition promise. Darbo's drug comments disrespectful to president. This according to presidential advisor Sehu Mbalo. National Assembly member warns against hate speech ahead of 2021 presidential elections. And of course, Mayor Talib Ahmed Bensouda lambasted a minister over Bakote dump site. And top police investigator faces TRRC. Let's take a look at some of these stories in detail. A former minister for the Interior has said President Barrow should not be blamed for the breakup of the coalition because he was instigated to renege on his campaign promise by what he describes as some selfish politicians. Adama Barrow came to power after the election in 2016, ending 22 years of Yahya Jammeh's strongman rule and inspired widespread hopes for reforms. But the 56-year-old former businessman later reneged on a campaign promise to step down in 2019, saying the constitution requires him to serve out a full 5-year mandate. Last year, the Gambian leader announced the formation of his own political party, the NPP, in a move that will enable him to seek a new mandate in the December 2021 presidential elections. His critics, mainly from his former party, UDP, have accused the president of a political adventurism and betrayal. But reacting to the criticism spawned by the launching of the NPP published in this paper yesterday, GMC leader Mai Fati contended, "We know the truth. The truth remains that President Barrow was instigated, coerced and manipulated to betray the coalition spirit and agenda by a few selfish politicians for partisan glory. Truth be told, President Barrow should not be unilaterally held responsible for the coalition debacle." Darbo's drug comments disrespectful to president, says a presidential advisor Mr. Sehu Mbalo. An advisor to the president has described the UDP leader's claims that he will regard President Barrow as being in cahoots with drug leaders if he fails to set the record straight on how he managed to purchase 10 brand new Toyota pickup vehicles for the NPP as grossly disrespectful. Youth advisor Sehu Mbalo told the Standard last night that President Barrow will never be involved in drug dealings as he does not even smoke cigarettes. Barrow is a very credible leader. Unlike many of his opponents, he was a very successful businessman before becoming head of state. No sensible Gambian will see him and associate him with drug dealing, he told the paper. He continued, "We will not take lightly to such comments from any politician, especially if they have to do with the president's image. I think Ousainou Darboe has once again demonstrated how out of touch he can be whenever it comes to issues concerning the president. A good leader would not make such irresponsible comments even against his worst enemy. It further demonstrates how selfish Darboe can be sometimes," Mbalo added. National Assembly member warns against hate speech ahead of 10th December elections. The National Assembly member, minority leader rather, has warned Gambians against political hate speech ahead of what he says will be the 10th presidential election in the country's history. Samba Jallow of the National Reconciliation Party, who is also the representative for Nyamina Dankunku, told Star FM in an interview, "Every Gambian has the right to belong to any political party and vote for the candidate of their choice, but I want to advise Gambians to approach the December election with good intent and total maturity. We should avoid endangering the peace and stability of this country. Of recent, the mercury of the country's political temperature has risen, warranting many Gambians to plead for calm ahead of the elections." Talib Ahmed Bensouda lambasted Minister Dramé over Bakote dump site. Kanifing Mayor Talib Ahmed Bensouda has told journalists that the Minister of Lands, Musa Dramé, has been giving deaf ear to his council's request for the relocation of the Bakote dump site. Over the past 3 years, I have written to the Minister of Lands and Regional Government appealing for action to identify an alternative site for the development of a sanitary landfill. On March 16, 2020, I requested to the minister to allocate an alternative land for dumping, and again on November 2nd, I warned the minister about the backwater dump site reaching capacity and the need to identify an alternative site, but the minister never replied to any of my letters, he told journalists. He recollected that in May 2018, during the Meet the People store, President Barrow promised to establish a task force for the relocation of the dump site, but not much has been done since then. Tango boss criticizes government over COVID-19. The chairman of the Association of Non-Governmental Organizations, Tango, has accused the Barrow administration of shirking its responsibilities to protect people in the Gambia against the deadly coronavirus for political gain. Addressing a meeting of victims of human rights violations under Yahya Jammeh last Saturday, John Charles Njai said, "Our dear nation is at a crossroads. The impact of COVID-19 is yet to be fully assessed and understood, yet our politicians are busy gathering crowds, neglecting their duty to protect the Gambian people." Senegambia Bridge Revenue Rights, AGBA clashes with Works PS. Accountant General Mamadou Lamin Ba has defended a decision by the government to transfer the collection of toll fees at the Senegambia Bridge, saying it is in line with transparency and good governance, as he argued with the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Works, Maud Cisse, over the royalty rights of the bridge. Both sides were invited to update the National Assembly Select Committee on monitoring the implementation of government projects on the control and management of funds of the toll facility at the Senegambia Bridge. Since its inauguration in January 2019, revenue collection at the bridge was administered by the GPA, Ferry Services, and National Roads Authority, but a government resolution last month ordered the revenue collection to be entrusted to the Accountant General's office, while a maintenance will be done by the National Roads Authority. Top police investigator faces TRRC. Lamin Cham, one of the country's most experienced police investigators working at the major crime unit yesterday, faced the Truth Commission to answer questions dealing with the method used to investigate several incidents by panels that included him. These include the 2006 attempted coup, the Freedom newspaper saga, the alleged Langtombong coup of 2009, missing journalist Ibrahima Chief Mane, and the massacred Ghanaian migrants case, among others. Cham was tasked by lead counsel Esa Fall to explain the methods his panels used and contrast these with international standards of investigation. That's it for the Standard newspaper. Let's take a look at the Point. The Point newspaper is reporting that court freezes Banta Keita's accounts as a search intensifies. NIA victim recounts havoc inflicted on him. Importers claim increased demurrage causes price hike. Let's take a look at some of these stories. Justice S. Wada Cisse, a High Court judge in Banjul on Tuesday, ordered for the accounts of Banta Keita to be frozen as the search for him continues. Mr. Keita is accused of shipping nearly 3 tons of cocaine from a shipment of industrial salt originating from Ecuador, amounting to over 88 million US. Importers claim increased demurrage causes a price hike in goods. Importers of commodities in the Gambia on Thursday informed the legislators of the National Assembly Select Committee on Trade that the demurrage charges on imports is the only main factor contributing to price hikes of basic commodities in the country. According to them, there is high demand on essential commodities such as rice, sugar, and oil in Africa, while its production is very low, and the increment on the demurrage on trade in containers is about $3,000 to $4,000 US. They confirmed to the committee that in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic, they have series of difficulties in importing, especially when it comes to shipping them to the Gambia, as most of the ports in the eastern parts of India and Pakistan have to operate the way they were operating before the pandemic came to effect. That's it for the newspapers. Let's go for a break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The pandemic had a sudden and substantial impact on the arts and cultural heritage sector. The global health crisis and the uncertainties resulting from it profoundly affected organizations' operations as well as individuals. The Fatu Network's Usman Jatta engaged Idrissa Keita, an artist, who took him through the current plight of the industry.
Keita began his artistic journey 2 decades ago through the motivation and inspiration of his elder brother in Conakry. After spending more than 2 decades in the field now, he has become more creative and confident in his work as an artist.
Picasso nka donin tala na taluro nka wi wafi menka e ala on création do ya nde do na baloto ro sine ka baloto collecte nka to do ko ikela mais ninka che tuntu mabu katali kata bo comme English people tourisme dina manta mais ko be alale parce que ça men nani de banku ka moma a plan moma lo kana tubamina.
However, the outbreak of the novel coronavirus pandemic has significantly affected his work, as many tourists did not visit the Gambia this year as compared to seasons prior to the pandemic.
Bislendo katama mbakele wotumana ya anka wafilikele somta tobu kanali kanyin kalike nebita kana ka wafilike nde somta mbise wafilila 10,000 ou ben 3,000 by the mbise wominala piko kelim piko fla. But tinting, only 300, 400 is problem.
Some experts believe that audience engagement, marketing and digital competencies are important for the future of the industry. As a man who is very passionate about his work, Keita had always had this dream and vision of empowering youth through his artistic ventures.
Ndesulani de marumina ni yoro soron komi yoroba na finke binyoro mimbisi komi motang makwila yoro mi komi denilu boy fana bina ka yoro jibe ka sanike fana parce que ni ka tre ni momi karana wila fembe kata ibisa lona le moika finketa manya minka moila ankli ka sinya minka ka develop parce que bambangu ni dini development bali la quoi for the youth.
Fine arts allow the full expression and display of the artist's imagination, unrestricted by any of the practical considerations involved in. When the coronavirus first appeared, globally all arts centers and activities were either cancelled or postponed. This move has paralyzed the industry as millions of people go through the impact of the pandemic.
The COVID-19 pandemic could be described as the most devastating crisis of the 20th century, which has not left any sector behind, ranging from agriculture, the tourism industry, and all other sectors, and the arts sector is not an exception to these. And the lives of Idrissa here, who are trying to make a living out of the arts business, are now struggling with their businesses due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now they are calling on the authorities to come in to help them to compensate the damage already caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Reporting for the Fatu Network News Review, Usman Jatta.
Meet Sarah and Tracy from the top 8 finalists of the Be a Star Sierra Leone. Their lives changed from day one. New original songs. Be famous and successful. Be a star in the Gambia.
The biggest stage right now in Sierra Leone.
Being a part of Be a Star is going a step further in chasing my dreams and my career as an artist.
All you have to do is record a video of you singing your favorite song, not more than 2 minutes long. Send the video by WhatsApp to the following number, 22-99944, using an AfriCell number. State your name and where you're from. Be a winner of a fully recorded album and $500,000. AfriCell Be a Star, your road to success.
Welcome back. Meanwhile, Startup Incubator Gambia, under the EU-funded Tech-Fee project earlier today, converged with entrepreneurs within the greater Banjul area, where they underwent a business development training program. Fatu Kamara tells us more.
Startup Incubator Gambia, in partnership with Juice Gambia under the EU-funded Tech-Fee project, converged with entrepreneurs on Wednesday, 3rd of February 2021 at the National Cooperative Credit Union Hall located in Bakau at 10 a.m. The aim of the convergence is to bring together entrepreneurs within the Greater Banjul area currently undergoing business development program at the Startup Incubator Gambia, funded by GIS project with their coaches to network, enunciate on the program, and suggest recommendations for the improvement of the program.
Working with young entrepreneurs in this country has been wonderful. I think there's a lot of talent, a lot of potential. Usually the main challenge we have is bringing them, from an informal kind of setting to a formal setting, and that requires, quite a bit of training and coaching, also making them understand the importance of, organizing and planning their business, for example, registering their business, paying tax, opening a bank account. So these are all things that we train them on, but also showing them the advantages. And then at the same time, they need to also understand the importance of marketing, doing market research, expanding their business, how to establish it, consolidate it, and further develop it. So these are all things that are part of the program.
Program coordinator, Startup Incubator Gambia, Mohamed Danso, and Sally Diba, business support coordinator, spoke about the challenges entrepreneurs face along the trainings and their efforts as an institution to making entrepreneurs get there.
So basically, Startup Incubator is partnering with the GIZ, the German corporation in the Gambia, to actually conduct design thinking entrepreneurship programs and coaching for a growing number of entrepreneurs in different regions, GBA, LRR, and URR. So they've previously undergone 7 days of training, coupled with 6 months of coaching, and we are 4 or 5 months into the coaching program now. And the goal today is to actually re-evaluate the coaching program and then see what are some of the challenges that they are facing.
The GIS Tech project has come in to help these entrepreneurs to actually have these things in reality, right? So this thing has actually helped them we have like over 100 and something entrepreneurs that go through the GIZ Tech projects and we partnered with these people, so we provide the business development service for them. So basically what we do is to train these young people to actually develop these ideas into reality, into a workable business.
Swai Bucham, GIS component head for business development, talks about the program process.
Well, the program today is a convergence. Convergence is part of the process for training the entrepreneurs. The training is usually for 6 months. We have a common core training with SIG, which is basically for 7 days, intensive training for 7 days, and each trainee is assigned a coach. So the coach goes to the trainees on one-on-one for 6 months, and during that 6 months we converge. It's like a feedback session where the coaches will express the challenges they have in terms of attaining the key performance indicators, and then the businesses also will, outline the challenges they have, what extra support can be provided. So this is part of the process.
Aisha is one of the trainees.
I feel very happy to be part of the training. So I have a lot of improvement with this training, so it really helps me a lot. So I am really happy to be part of it.
Under its Techifi project in the Gambia, GIS International Services is implementing various projects targeting youths and/or youth-led micro-enterprises, aiming at increased employability in selected value chains and increased economic opportunities selected high-growth sectors, more specifically in a bid to offer young Gambians and/or returning migrants concrete perspectives for socio-economic reintegration and development. Fadu Kamara reporting for the Fadu Network News Review.
Imagine owning a home or service plot, enjoying the sunrise and sunset from a beautiful garden, morning hugs and beautiful moments with your loved ones, the never-ending stories, beautiful memories that will last a lifetime, making and sharing great moments with family and friends. You can turn this into a reality. All you need is a tough home.
Back, and today I am joined by our special guest in News Review today, one of Gambia's favorite rappers, none other than ST Singate, Dindi Mansa, the Gambian Dream. ST, welcome to the Fatu Network.
Hey, saluto respeco. It's your boy ST Gambian Dimbrika Maboyo. Ndolkana kuoleke.
That's right. Yeah, ST, you've been in this art for quite a long time now. How would you describe the music that you typically create?
Well, I do a fusion, you know, Afro-Manding fusion. I do hip hop, you know. It kind of depends, because I'm not trying to, like, I do Afro-Manding, you know, I'm an Afro-Manding rapper, but I'm not trying to, you know,
just limit it to that.
Just limit it to that, you know. I want to be flexible, you know, and versatile.
It's important to be versatile as a rapper.
Because you have different fans, you know, that listen to different type of music, and we try to satisfy them all at the same time, you know, in different ways.
That's right. So rapping to me is a very difficult genre of music, because, you know, you have to figure out ways to rhyme words and all of that. It takes a lot of creativity. What is your creative process like?
Well, it depends on the song. Like, to me, the whole thing is just a vibe. You know, I could actually, you know, spend days, you know, making a song, a particular song. Let's say a week. You know, weeks, you know, to create one song. Sometimes just a day. Right. It depends on the nature of the song. You know, like yeah, some songs you spend more time on them based on, you know, what you are saying, and they have to be well articulated, basically. I
can imagine. And now, have you ever sat down and think, what would my life been like without your musical career? Do you ever think about that? What would I have done without music?
I thought about it. I cannot possibly imagine.
It's music or nothing else.
Yeah, it's definitely music or nothing else. Then I'll probably be at some bank, you know, as a cashier.
As a banker, that's something that would be interesting.
You know, that, you know, going to school, that's the senior school, that was the mind state, you know. Yeah, you know, finishing school, doing my course, you know, working for a bank, you know. I mean, but you know.
And here you are as an artist. You know, the Gambian music scene has evolved over the past years. So you know, that whole thing about, oh, Gambians do not support their own artists and all of that thing. These are things that we can finally put behind, especially for artists like you with a solid fan base, you know, filling up the stadium for you and then holding it down. What does that feel like as an artist?
Well, we've been waiting so long to get to this point. Because, you know, like, Gambia used to be home for a whole lot of outside artists, but not really home for Gambian artists. You know, less people would go to, you know, Gambian artist events, even the invites, less, you know. It's more like, you know, the opening acts for international artists, basically, you know. And, you know, I can't lie, like you said, things have changed a whole lot, you know, in the recent years, that, you know, people go out fully to support Gambian music, Gambian artists, you know, local music, basically, you know. That's the best thing that have been happening so far.
Absolutely. And one thing I want us to highlight is the issue of all these producers and promoters who spend huge amounts of money trying to bring foreign artists into this country. We're not saying don't bring them, but at least if you're going to bring them, can you also support, you know, the homegrown local artists? What do you have to say about that?
Well, it's on us to actually support Gambian artists, you know, like, and Gambian musicians, because at the end of the day, like we said, it's Gambia. If we want to develop as a country, it's not just with, you know, with sports, with music, with everything. We just have to give it all we got. And, you know, Gambia is for Gambians, and nobody is gonna come help us support anything if we don't support it, you know. So I kind of feel like, you know, it's very necessary we try considering Gambian artists as promoters, you know, when we do shows, not only in Gambia but even outside Gambia, you know, because, for instance, like, Gambian artists are filling up stadiums right now, you know. From my first launching, personally, I'm not talking about last year, I mean the first one,
right.
I haven't seen a crowd of an international artist that actually pulled that crowd here. That shows Gambian artists can really do it, you know. We just have to believe in them and support them. Yeah.
And now that the coronavirus pandemic is here, it has actually impacted impacted all sectors of the economy, and I'm sure that the arts industry is also not an exception. How has this pandemic affected your work as an artist?
It greatly did, because for over an year, we wasn't doing shows, and there was no shows, and that's what we do. Music is like when you wake up in the morning and then you go to your office, to work. Like when you wake up in the morning to go to a mechanic garage, like to work as a mechanic, that's how we actually artists are. We get up, we do music. That's what our job is, exactly. So when that is cut off, it makes everything complicated. No money is coming in, and you still have family to take care of, and even music itself is requires a lot of investment, because videos they cost, these songs they cost. So having to sit for an year with no income is frustrating. It's not been easy one bit.
Take us through the process of the expenditure that you spend in trying to just shoot music videos and stuff like that. It must be very expensive, like you said.
Well, it is expensive, because when it comes to video shootings, you deal with cameras and you deal with different producers. Sometimes you can shoot for the cheapest. You can shoot for as cheap as $35,000, 30,000. It's a lot of money, but I mean, musically, when it comes to production, is not really money. But then like you can shoot for that, but then it's gonna be based on the camera that you would have. Like for instance, these guys would have A, B, C, gold, platinum. So depending on which package you're ready to take, each of the packages have a specific camera that they shoot with. So if you want to take the platinum, you're gonna get a more advanced video, but that means a more advanced budget, exactly. So having to keep up with standard, it actually pushes you to go ahead. You cannot really settle for the less priced videos just because you want to have it easy, because the Gambian music is going to the level that we need to push it so high. We need to compete ourselves with international artists, not just with artists that are in Gambia and doing it here. I mean, the international artists from other countries are our competition, and we have to look at their standard for fans and all that stuff. So, and it comes with other stuff besides paying for the video, the models, the people that are supposed to be in the video, the venues. Sometimes they charge all the little stuff that you're supposed to get in the video. It all costs. So
And talking about the competition, it is important that Gambian artists are not focused on their fellow artists in the Gambia. Like you said, it's important to look beyond to make sure that standards are set, and then the bar is raised high.
Yeah,
there's a whole lot of artists coming out these days, and nothing wrong with that. Y'all are doing a hell of a job, but I think it is important for originality in this industry. And what do you advise to these young rappers that are coming up?
Well, we all listen to other artists, bigger artists, basically, for motivation, inspiration, and all that kind of stuff. Don't let them carry you away with their style. Try to understand what they do. Try to understand what he does. Try to come up with your own stuff in a different way. Yeah, because it's harder to come up with your own style, but once you got it, you're good, because nobody else sounds like you. You don't sound like nobody unless if people start sounding like you, and that's wonderful. When you start, when you listen to artists a whole lot, that they carry you along their path, you sound more like them. And then in some few years, a lot of things might actually change, because people have heard this person before and you're sounding like the same. Let them be open-minded. Let them not be dictated by the type of music that people like. You can create your music that people would like, but then the thing is, they would only get to hear that from you.
That said, what sets you apart from the rest? What makes ST so unique and his flow?
Well, I feel like I know what I want, and I don't necessarily, have to try to, copy anything or anything like that. You know, I have my own ideas, creative ideas that I wanna, you know, put in my music, you know, musically, and then people always feel like, oh, I never heard this before, I never seen this before. What kind of, you know, exactly, you know, that's the excitement we want fans to carry. So, and also I don't like this one, we cancel it, this one we cancel it. We choose songs, you know, so we, after dropping all the songs, sometimes these songs that we drop, they could go, but you know, like, it has to be, there are levels to it.
Yeah, there are levels to it. And there is something really interesting I want to ask you, because I am a fan of rap music. You know, sometimes you rappers go back and forth about, you know, oh, you are not the best, the greatest of all time, because you actually have ghost rappers and stuff like that, ghost writers and stuff. You followed the beef that ensued between Drake and Pusha T in his Infrared song, when Pusha actually said that Drake cannot be considered as the greatest because he has ghost writers. Yes. Have you ever ghost written for anyone?
Well, yes, I did, but it's not a big deal.
It's a big deal, because that's where rappers differ. Like, if you're able to write your own song, your own lyrics, you know, your own flow, it sets you apart from the rest who are actually being written for.
Yeah, that's just some extra shit that could, you know, be done. I've always been a good writer, you know, like musically. When I was in senior school, I wrote a whole book of lyrics, you know, like this exercise books, you know. I've been writing was never, you know, never a big issue for me when it comes to lyrics. And the problem is, I'm hardly satisfied. So
even with your own writing?
Exactly. You know, like, you know, I'm hardly satisfied. I could be like, no, this is not it. And, you know, my team be like, no, this is dope, you know, like, I'm like, yes, it is dope, I know, but it can be better, you know. And we are not just trying to give them good, we're trying to give them the best out of, you know, the rest, you know, and it has to be the best.
And what do you have to say to, you know, aspiring rappers who probably not very good at writing their own lyrics and stuff?
Practice makes perfect, and hard work can get you anywhere. You know, it didn't just start, it never starts with a day. Rome wasn't built in a day, exactly. So, you know, when this is what you want to do, you make up your mind about it, you have a passion for it, you learn. It's a gradual process. Yeah, you know, but I do know hard work does pays off, and the more time you spend on it, working on these lyrics, you know, they would definitely come, you know.
Of all the musicians in the world, if you could collaborate with anyone, who would it be? I know we have already have a big collaboration, which we will talk about later, but apart from that, who would you like to collaborate with?
In the whole world, I think I have so much in my mind right now, but I would definitely go for Jay-Z.
Why? Why? What's so special about Huff that you would want to collaborate with him?
I mean, come on, Jay-Z is Jay-Z. You know this already. You know, yeah, he's king. So. No, I mean,
really, he's king. I would have expected you to go with probably Nas, you know.
I have a whole lot of respect for Nas, you know, but, you know, I still, you know, I would still rather do a song with
Huff. That's good. And now to your newest and your latest EP, you know, Dindin Mansa
album.
The album. Tell us a little bit about this album and your inspiration.
The album Dindin Mansa represents, you know, my struggle as an artist, you know, from the time that I actually started music, you know, hustling to make money to record one track, you know, the second songs, you know, from the times that, you know, I actually did a mixtape to the first album, that the journey of that struggle, you know, up to date, when, you know, people can actually look at me and be like, whoa, that's my country's favorite artist, or that's the best artist in my country. You know, that journey is what Dindin Mansa, you know, represents.
What can we expect from this album?
I said it before, this is gonna be my favorite album. This is gonna be the best album so far from all the other albums.
I bet you say this all the time you release an album, that this is my favorite.
No, I told them this year, 2020 has been, 2020 was not easy with us, you know, especially with the corona thing. I was blessed with a son, and, you know, it just took me to the next level, you know. motivation wise and inspiration wise, and you know, I just felt like I wasn't just working for myself, you know. You know, I was working for my son too, and you know, having these thoughts at the back of my mind motivated me to do more. So it's just gonna be a classic album. You know.
Right, and hopefully your fans will be able to fill up the stadium once again for you, as they're very, very solid when it comes to your music. Now, one more thing.
Definitely,
I know when I called the person that was responsible for setting up this interview, and he's right here in the studio right now. He said to me, "Don't bring up any controversy," and I said, "No, I'm not going to bring." But let's talk about this whole Stadium ST team debacle. What happened?
We just had some complications, you know. I would say just some misunderstandings, you know. Yeah, but I'm happy that, you know, we were able to sit and discuss and resolve it with the stadium.
Was there any misunderstanding at all? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, all these artists are used to bringing up all these publicity stunts when they have album launchings and stuff like that." And it seems some Gambians still couldn't grasp you know, whatever it is was happening between your team and the stadium management.
Well, my team would never do such a thing, you know. Like personally, as an artist,
interview, but I still have to ask.
To tell you the truth, like, well, I don't like, the music speaks for itself, you know. ST is a typical Gambian brand, you know. It's for each and every Gambian, you know, irrespective of your tribe, you know, where you've come from, and you know, such things like that, you know. So it's for everybody. So people actually support, you know, local music now. You know, things have really changed, you know, and this is not the first year that we have done it at the stadium. This is not the second year, it's the third year. It's kind of regular to me. We're just trying to get it better than the last time, but we don't necessarily need to pull up, you know, publicity stunts like such things, especially when it involves other people.
Right.
And you know, you cannot really control what people say over the media, so you know, it's never been like that.
And talking about the media, how has it changed, you know, the music industry?
I mean, the media is probably the platform the only platform that we all actually have now, you know. For instance, if it wasn't for the media, can you imagine how Gambian artists would have been like? You know, because this is a platform that we can all use in different ways to promote and advertise our products, you know. And it really did contribute, because at least 60% or 70% of all the energy that we give in, like, it comes through the media, you know. Like, that's how we get our informations across easily and all that stuff. So the media really did contribute, you know, because about this issue, everybody was talking about it, everybody was writing stuff, you know, the news, you know, and you know, that was amazing.
The backlash probably helped for them to turn to their decision once again. And now we know that coronavirus is very much active and around. What are the things that your team is putting in place to make sure that, you know, things are not out of control during this concert?
Well, it's so unfortunate that, you know, Corona have really affected us, and you know, in general, you know, and it's very sad, you know. It really did affect some people, almost everybody, you know, in one way or the other, you know. And as much as we are trying to, we're gonna do this show, we are more focused on, you know, our reality, because we are behind the government, and if there is no actual lockdown in Gambia, then I guess, you know, that gives us the go ahead. But it doesn't stop the fact that, you know, people at the show have to wear face masks, and also we would have sanitizers for people getting in, and we will try to do our best as much as we can to, yeah.
What message do you have for your fans?
Fans will alnimbara na ala tentu Gambia number 0 ntara bara, but fans will alnimbara. Just thanking the fans over and over a million times. They're the reason why I'm here. They're the reason why I got this far. They're the reason why I'm doing this. Without their support, you know, I'll be running out of fuel, you know, because my fans are like my fuel. They keep me going, you know, and as long as they are fans, I'll always keep going, you know. So, you know, we are in this together. Just to tell them we are in this together, and I've seen so many people show love and support in their thousands, and I'm grateful for them. Most of them I don't know, but
you love them. But before we go, let's talk about something that you would be one of your biggest collaborations so far since you came into this music industry, which is a collaboration that you're working with Baba Mal. Tell us a little bit about that project.
The Baba Mal project, the song is called My People. I'm not going to go into details because the song is going to be out very soon, and I would really want everybody to hear it from the song itself. But it's for the people. And Baba Mal is an icon. He's a great artist. I consider myself fortunate to actually have such a legend on my album.
How excited are you about this project?
I've been excited. I've been so excited. Like, you know, I cannot wait for it to come out. It's gonna come out as a video. Baba Mal was excited as well. I can't lie. You know, like he was so very happy. You know, like he was so very. Because after we recorded the first verse, he told my manager, like, look, this kid, he's way older than his age. Like his mindset, you know, because he said the things that I actually said on my verse, he could not really, you know, picture me saying that when he saw me. So it was really amazing, you know, artist to artist, you know, like, you know, I feel honored being in the presence of Baba Mal as an artist, you know, like that, you know.
Right.
But it made me feel good, you know. I had a lot of motivation, you know, for such an artist to actually compliment my work and stuff, and being ready to be a part of it, you know. And he made everything easy as soon as because we went there, he heard the whole song, the concept of the song and everything. He approved, you know. You know, it was never complicated, you know. And when we went to shoot a video, he made it easy. He made everything easy for us. He said, y'all are the next thing. I don't know if you were seeing what I'm seeing, but you know, just keep up the good work. So it was really amazing, you know, my experience with Baba Mal.
It's a huge deal. And before I let you go, what do you have to say to all the Gambian people out there? And then you will hit us with a freestyle. We didn't plan this, but you have to drop something here.
Well, just to tell the Gambian people, you know, I'll appreciate, you know, and I really appreciate the love and support, you know, like Nimumo be quality Gambia column, because Gambian music nana mo futa level auto mi alon ko yala ne abenyi level auto, so na push I tie gina tambinina, you know. And also let them keep up the support. The tickets are out now. You could grab it at a whole lot of locations, if I can name a few.
Oh, absolutely.
Maxizas Karaba Avenue, LP Karaba Avenue, Salis Brikama. We have Turntable Alibaba, we have Salis Senegambia, Magic Bar, Chicken Plaza, Kololi. We have flyers. Follow ST The Gambian Dream on Facebook or Brikama_Boyo on Instagram, and then we have flyers with all these numbers. I'm pretty sure no matter where you are, you would find a number that
yes, you all go grab your tickets.
You know. And thanks to my management, you know, they doing amazing. Everybody is on the move 24 hours, and you know, these people are great. I'm so proud of them.
All right, and the Gambian people are definitely proud of you. But before we let you go, just do something, a little something for them before I let you go.
Nyatano kendo, nyatano fenkutu, ye sankutu, luolong kukutu, ye nyal lebetela, nyal lebetela, bardal lebedela, dindim mansa manata, nko dulale betekan, dulale betekan, dulale betekan, dulale betekan, ndunda club auto banko farta watch, ndada stadium auto ngajete ben sabati, mborta luotima, adiam.
If I can
Saludo respeto.
Thank you very much. Saludo respecto. Thank you very much, ST Singate, for coming through to the Fat.
Thank you for having us here. You know, it's appreciated. We are in this together. You know.
Thank you very much. That will be it for news review today. And of course, go check out the tickets and go check out ST on the February 6th, 2021 at the Independence Stadium in Bakau. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.